and start your session.
Hello, very good afternoon, everyone. On behalf of Human Society International India, we welcome you all to this global webinar on localizing sustainable development goals with emphasis on sustainable development goal number 2. So my name is Pradeep Era and I work as an outreach coordinator at Farm Animal Protection Campaign and Eat Kind campaign as Human Society International India. So I would like to share a few words about our organization. So Humane Society International India is the Indian chapter of Humane Society International, which is one of the world's largest animal protection organization across the world. So in India, we started our journey in the year 2009. Since its inception, we have been working on multiple verticals of animal welfare. We work on issues concerning on farm animals. We also work on issues concerning on companion animals. We also work on issues concerning on wildlife. We do also respond to the natural disasters that might affect animals. So our primary
Mr.
mission is
Pradeep, you
to
don't have PP
yes,
slide, PPTs?
yes, sure,
Then please share with us.
sure, definitely.
PPTs.
So our main vision is to have a clean, green, and sustainable world for humans, animals, and environment. So in this presentation, I'm going to talk about where does our food come from. So So when we talk about sustainable development goals are global goals which are adopted by the United Nations member states in the year 2015 as a global call to end poverty and ensure peace and prosperity for all living forms. And these are the 17 sustainable development indexes. So when we are talking about sustainable development, so there are the three pillars which system said to be sustainable. It should be environmentally sound, it should also have a social impact, and it should be economically viable. So when we are going ahead to the sustainable development goal number 2, that is zero hunger. So the main goal of the zero hunger to end hunger by 2030 and provide nutritious food for everyone. So here are the salient features: ensure access safe and nutrition and sufficient food for all, end forms of all malnutrition, double smallhold for food production and income, deliver sustainable resilient food systems, and maintain agrobiodiversity. So these are the salient features of zero hunger. But in coming to the ground reality, there is a dubious distinction. And this is a hunger report as per the 2015. Around 795 million people in the world remain hunger. And these are the top 10 undernourished countries, where India is the topmost country, which around 194.6 population in millions. So, and we coming to the our global hunger index in the year 2019, India has stood around 1 or 2, and whereas in the year 2020, India has improved his rank. I mean, in the say the index has been improved, but still in India there are people who suffer from malnutrition and who suffer from having enough food for day. Why it is happening? So this is the reasons for hunger condition in India. So about 51% of the women suffer from malnutrition, and every child under the age of 9 suffer from malnutrition, and around 14% of the population in India also suffer from malnutrition. So when we talk about food, generally we speak about normally we'll have a clean picture that we get a food from a farms, maybe like this, and hence over like this. But in reality, when we talk about, this is the exact condition, and this is the exact condition of a poultry farm in India. before industrial revolution, we used to work on we usually we get food from a lot of traditional farming methods, but due to the rapid industrialization and urbanization, the demand increased, and which has shifted traditional animal farming to most modernized way, which we call as factory farming methods. So you can see here this in this image, uh, the layer hands have been so tightly confined, and they are not able to move, and they are not able to express. I mean to say, they are unable to spread their wings. Like we are confined in COVID-19 situation where we are not able to move outside, and we are not able to communicate with everyone. The same thing happens with them every day, and you can see this, there are burning feet or spread out there, and most of these hens are fed with lot of antibiotics. And again, it is not only harmful to the for the hens, and it is also harmful for our public health also. And for raising of this poultry and factory farming, much of the agricultural land has been cleared off, and forest area has been cleared off. So most of these agricultural lands are owned by smallholder farmers. So they have been forcibly migrated to nearby towns because they have been losing their livelihood, and they are forced to work under extreme work conditions, and the children are not able to get adequate food, and also they have been facing a lot of malnutrition issues. So why in India, we being an agricultural country, we have a lot of resources, but still we are suffering from malnutrition. The thing is that for 7 billion population in around the world, 80.3 billion animals globally have been raised and slaughtered for food every year. And most of them spend their time, most of the animals have been raised in giant factory farms. And this is an shandy which we call in as an in animal markets. You can see this condition of the animals. They have been they have been tied up, and they are not able to move, and they are not able to provide food and water. They have been you can see the condition of the animals. And these animals, when they have been transporting, they have been overloaded one over the other. So they are not imagine if these animals, one of them has got any infection. So most of these animals also gives rise to various zoonotic diseases if these animals have been not treated properly. And during this transportation, much of the animals have been collapsed. You can see the condition over here, and a man sitting over the animal. So this is the exact condition of a poultry farm. You can see that the groundwater and soil has been contaminated, and much of this water has been mixed with a lot of toxic gases like nitrous oxide and ammonia, and which in turn this water cannot be utilized for drinking purposes, nor it cannot be utilized for agriculture activities. I said that for producing of 1 kg of chicken, it requires around 4,300 liters of water. For producing of 1 kg of cereals, it requires less than half of amount. And we have only the 3% of the freshwater lakes all over the world. And much of this water has been fed for livestock, and also poultry for feeding and cleaning of these cages and all. And so this is the condition of the soil. We can see that this soil has lost the fertility, and much of this groundwater resources has been drained off due to the intensive animal agriculture and also the poultry. By 2050, we are going to have more than 10 billion population. How we are going to feed the billion of population by these unsustainable production methods? So we in HSI India, we are having a policy called a 3R policy. Through our individual outreach, we approach the institutions like schools and colleges. We ask them to replace the animal products with non-animal alternatives. That means which are economically viable and environmentally sound, and so have social impact. Apart from that, if some of them is not able to replace, we ask them to reduce the meat consumption. By reducing meat once in a week, we'll drastically reduce our ecological footprint, Not only that, it detoxifies our body, and it is also help for the smallhold farmer too. So if the either of the way, like the replacement, reduction, and is not possible, we ask them to refine the production methods. Instead of choosing procuring the eggs from a battery case, we ask them to source from cage-free environment or a free range farming methods where the animal has the highest animal welfare standards. Not only that, it will boost the rural economy. So it will also stop the forced migration of smallhold farmers, and they will get an adequate livelihood, and their children also get adequate education. And this is the outreach which we have conducted in IIIT Basel. So this is me. We have been explaining to the students about the environmental impact of animal agriculture and on a planet, and also the sustainable solutions. So with this, I would like to end my presentation by quote by father of our nation, Mahatma Gandhi, once said that the greatness of a nation and its moral progress can be judged by the way the animals have been treated. So I would like to thank each and everyone who have been to this global conference. It was a great privilege to have you with you all. And I would like to thank Jain Chaudhary sir for giving this wonderful platform. And if you have